This time on Whatever We Want, we talk about
Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. Spoilers, major, huge, big spoilers ahead. There are time codes down in the description if you want to jump around. We talk everything from the post-credit scene, which you do not want spoiled, again. Also, Morbius, potential connections to other Sony characters, Toxin and the future of the Venomverse, all that and more. Enjoy!
Yeah.
Pre-Banter, peanut butter. Daniel, how you doing, my friend?
Doing pretty good. It's been a hot minute since we talked about our latest series.
It has been. It's weird. Like, now that the series is over, I don't know what to do with my life.
I mean, I've just been working, game design, all that, teaching.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Daniel's a
teaching is
professor
weird,
now.
man. It's so. I'm not a professor.
Do you tell your students you have a podcast? Because you should. That's free advertisement.
Honestly, I should.
Yeah. I also want to mention I don't usually wear these dark colors, and because I like to pop out and have a nice color. But I wanted to wear this because it's like Venom colored,
I also have Venom colors on.
Nice. All right. Ready for the introduction?
Yes. Hit me with it.
You may want us to talk about this or that, but we don't care. We're going to talk about whatever we want. Welcome back to Whatever We Want, the podcast where we, Jake and Daniel, two devilishly handsome gentlemen, talk about movies, TV shows, give you behind-the-scenes insights, filmmaking techniques, all that jazz, and more. You know what we're talking about this week. Daniel, we just talked about it. Venom 2.
Yee.
Let
there be carnage.
Be carnage.
Oh, man. I love this, actually. I did not actually have a lot of high expectations for this movie, but
Same.
I think it was very well done, actually. I feel like
Really?
I haven't had this much fun for I want to say a comic book movie, because I've had fun with superhero movies, obviously, because we talk about this stuff all the time, but
I don't like
know.
superhero movies. Episode 67 in a podcast that talks about superhero movies.
but you know what I mean. This had it was so finely paced. It was so well done, at least in my opinion, that I don't know, it just stayed on point throughout. I feel like it was really well done.
Okay, and we talked about this because we saw this together. I personally don't know if I enjoyed it that much, but also because I think I don't know about this character that much, because I like the character that's tied to Spider-Man, which we'll talk about later.
I think that's why I connected with it more, because I know more about the character and characters that are connected in this film.
Okay.
So
yeah, there were a lot of good references, and we talked about that a little bit. But yeah, I think this opening actually did really well. I think it's superhero movies and movies in general are kind of climbing in how they're doing post-pandemic opening in theaters. I think Black Widow didn't do too hot. Shang-Chi exceed expectations, got 80 or 90 million in its opening weekend. I'm pretty sure this one got 93 or somewhere around there opening weekend. So it's doing well by that standard, which is great. This was directed by Andy Serkis, actually. Gollum, Smeagol, Claw. The Venom 1, though, was actually directed by Ruben Fleischer. I don't know how to say that, sorry. Yeah. He also did Zombieland. So I thought it was interesting. I remember they announced it pretty soon after that Venom was getting a sequel, and that it wasn't going to be directed by him. So I wonder, I don't really know the story behind that.
I think I also set up my expectations, because I feel like Venom 1, as it was an okay introduction. It was trying to do something different, but at the same time, it was just...
So did you like this better than the first one?
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people really liked the first one. I thought it was a little overhyped. Everyone talked about that lobster scene, and I was like, okay.
But no, this one hit. This one hit hard. And again, I feel like Andy did a good job with his pacing. That's one thing he talked about. Standardly films can be up to 2 hours or 2.5, whatever.
Yeah.
But he wanted this to be only an hour and a half, because he wanted to be nice, to the points, action hitting, and just staying with the rhythm. That was something he was really focused on.
I appreciate that.
I feel like he did a good job with that.
Because it didn't take out my whole night. Because I remember Daniel and I were at we wanted to try this winery by my new house, and so we were at the winery, and our friend Evan, who's been on the podcast, was like, have you guys seen Venom? We were like, no, and he's like, you need to see the post-credit scene. So we were like, well, what time is it? We were looking, it was like, oh, it's only 7, and the last showing's at 8, so why not go? So
why not go?
We just went, and I'm glad it didn't take out the whole night kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was a really good day. Wine and Venom.
Yeah. Speaking of the post-credits, let's talk about that. And I just want to have another... I know we already had a spoiler warning, but I want to put another spoiler warning here, specifically for this
This is a big
post-credits.
This is
huge. Yeah, if you have not seen the post-credits in Venom, you probably don't want to listen to that. Again, there's time codes. If you want to jump around, just skip this part.
Jump
I
ahead,
wouldn't even worry about that, because we might talk about that later. But just, time codes. All right, here we go. So... He's in Spidey's universe now? What?
Well, okay, so he's in the MCU.
Yeah.
He's on a beach island, right? Because he
Which
wanted to get
reminded
away.
me a lot of, I remember there was a comic I read that when Spidey and Venom fought, and sorry, I may interrupt you, but Venom,
No, it's all
I
good.
like to make this connection in the theater, and I was so proud of myself. I think my dad gave me this comic, and like Venom, or maybe it was Mike, maybe it was my dad or Mike, the guy from Marvel that I know. He so Spidey and Venom like fight, and like Venom is like going to kill Peter and his family, and it's just like going as harder than he's ever gone after Peter. And Peter's like, if I don't make this guy think that he killed me, like I will never be free in my life. So he lures him out to this island, I think using like the Fantastic Four car or something like that in the version that I read. And then like they fight for a long time, and like Venom like sets off like this bomb or something, and Peter like barely survives. And like what he does is he takes off his spider suit, and which is already just like torn and shattered. And I think he finds a skeleton of just like that was there, or like maybe someone had died previously on like a shipwreck or something.
His death.
Yeah, and he fakes his death. So Venom then like stays on this island as like a vacation. He's like, I'm finally like free. But then what happens later, or like in the next comic or something, Carnage comes and wreaks havoc in the city. Venom's still out on this island thinking his life's purpose is complete. And so Spider-Man has to go back to the island, reveal to him that he's not dead. And then they have to go team up and take down Carnage together. So that just reminded me of that a lot. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, and it's not what happened here, but like
yeah,
a lot of the same points to where Venom was like, okay, I gotta take out Carnage. Carnage actually vice versa. He was like, I gotta take out Venom because he's
sorry. Let's talk about the post-credit scene because that's what we're
post-credit
talking
scenes. So
he's on the island, like we said.
He's on the island. He's like in this little hut thing,
and then a little like blah, 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 blah happens.
Yeah, but it's like a weird blah, blah, blah. It's like a blah, blah, blah that was like. It felt a lot like the energy from Doctor Strange as compared
and
to
it looks like the effect from the trailer of Spider-Man where like when the multiverse kind of like breaks open. And I immediately noticed that, and I was just like scanning and was like looking for any clue that we were in the MCU. And like while literally
here.
Yeah, literally
he was the first one in the theater to notice
It was so great. Everyone was looking at the right, looking at Tom Hardy Venom, and I was like looking all around, and I immediately went to the TV and saw J.K. Simmons, and I was just like, I took a second out to be like, oh my gosh, and then like I like hit Daniel, and I was like, and I didn't even like try to be subtle. I was like, look at the TV, like I said it like out loud, and then I literally like
you could hear everybody's heads go.
Heard everyone like turn, but then as soon as everyone turned, like it cut to a close up of Tom Hardy, so like everyone like couldn't see. And like he was just like, what? Like watching the TV. And then when it cut back, I heard like literally people behind me after they could see what I pointed at, they went like, like they gasped. They were like, it's J.K. it's J. Jonah Jameson. I was like, that's what I saw. I saw it first. Like what?
But yeah,
cool.
Dude, it was crazy because then you saw J.K. and then it was a photo of Spidey.
It wasn't a photo. I saw someone pirated it on TikTok or something, but like it was actually a video of him like kind of turning.
Like turning?
Because I know we argued about that. Or not argued, just debated it. Talked about that.
Either way, it was Tom Holland. Like it was clearly Tom Holland. Oh my goodness, dude.
So now Venom's gonna go after him.
Yeah. So the thing was with Venom, like he in the movie, he's like, we're the lethal protector.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
It was just funny because that's actually what he's referred to sometimes in the comics.
Like it was like this huge epic scene. I thought it was gonna be like, we are Venom, and I thought it was gonna be like the epic hero shot, but he was like, the lethal protector, and like burst up from the ground.
But no, so his thing is he wants to go after bad guys, and the way that Spidey's being portrayed here by
just because you're a bad guy,
Triple J is obviously as a bad guy.
Doesn't mean you're a bad guy.
Oh, let me go take care of the bad guy.
Yeah, I feel like this could go multiple ways. I feel like they could be testing the fans potentially and seeing like how everyone reacts to Tom Hardy, Venom, Sony character in MCU Spider-Man's world. And I feel like if fans respond well to it, they could,
which they will,
potentially they could like keep them there and start bringing in other characters and kind of mixing and matching more. Or if they don't like it, they could be like, all right, after Spider-Man and after that, like he's back in his own universe, like everything's sorted. We're going to keep these separate. So like I feel like they've left the door open to explore some options, which I think is smart. My fear for this movie, Spider-Man movie, is that they're going to go too ambitious and there's just going to be too much in it. Because like what we saw with Spider-Man 3, like back in the day, Tobey Maguire, like often like too many characters doesn't always work out. but it depends.
I feel like that's kind of changing though.
It depends on how you handle it. Like I feel like Sam Raimi didn't want to do that,
Especially with like Endgame and like Infinity War.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder if John Watts like wanted to do that with this story, or if he was kind of pushed by the studio, because often things go wrong when the studio and the director kind of mesh, or like, sorry, don't mesh, like butt heads.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if there was like synergy. Like, I don't know. Kevin Feige seems to know what he's doing, so we shall see.
I feel like it's gonna be good. I feel like it's gonna be really good.
But that could be the sixth person in the Sinister Six that we saw in the trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home. Potential
That's
spoilers
who
for
I think it's
Spider-Man
gonna
No Way
be.
Home. So, because we saw Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Sandman, potentially Electro. People are saying they saw Scorpion. We have also seen Scorpion / Vulture
Yep.
in the MCU, and then Venom. So we're at like 6 or 7, depending. If Sandman isn't true, because I think that was out of those, that was the most of a stretch. People also claim to have seen like Lizard.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. We could be seeing a whole bunch. Then again, it's not really. I was thinking about this too, but it's not really confirmed whether or not they're doing the Sinister Six. Like they don't really have to just. They could go with less, or they could also go with more.
True. The Sinister 8.
Well, I think Sinister 7 was a thing for a minute because like they added like an extra person. I don't know who, but it was weird.
The Hateful 8.
But yeah, so I don't know. And thinking more into like how things have been going, say like now that we just ended the What If series and all that, I wonder if No Way Home's gonna leave like our Spidey, like Tom Holland, like lost in another universe, and like that's how it's gonna end.
Ooh. Maybe maybe they're leading to Tom Holland, Spidey joining the Sonyverse, like what I was saying, and they bring him to the Sonyverse, and he plays in that world for a while because of contracts or something, and I don't know.
That could be the case. I don't know.
Or maybe they're just like opening the door so that like if they need to, now that the multiverse has been explored and people understand that concept, people can jump around within stories, and it's not as much of a like what the heck kind of thing.
If they open the door to where people can jump from like from company to company like that. Again, like what we saw with What If, where now like Star Wars is now kind of cut in with that too. Like
Mustafa.
Just the combining of all these different IPs is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And I hope that the writers really leverage that in proper ways.
Yeah.
Because there's right ways and there's wrong ways to do stuff like that. Like, again, Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, you don't want to get too crazy, and you really need to understand do research and understand each of the characters and all the stories you're trying to mesh together. Like, you can't just throw in Star Wars and Marvel and like it will work. Like, you got to service both fan bases because they are different.
Exactly.
That's definitely a tough challenge to undertake, I feel like. Anyways, so
the movie.
Well, this also with like the Sonyverse potentially joining the MCU made me think of Morbius, because I still like don't know what the heck's going on with that movie. I looked it up, and it's apparently supposed to come out January 28th, 2022 with Jared Leto, whatever. So we'll see what happens there. I'd be okay if he kind of stays away from the MCU.
If they used him in any way, I hope they would use him in a way similar to how they did it with the 90s cartoon.
Okay.
I think they did Mobius pretty well in that series.
Morbius?
Yeah. What did I say?
Mobius. Like a strip.
Oh, God dang it. No, TVA.
No. Owen Wilson just comes in.
As a vampire. Wow. But no, like they did him very well in the anime TV series. Although they did it with, was it eugenics? Instead of it being like actual vampire stuff.
Okay.
So, but I feel like it's going to be different. And I think it's going to be opening up the Marvels. That's one thing we still haven't really seen in Marvel is like the supernatural stuff. We're getting kind of a flavor of it with Wanda, but that's still not.
Yeah, I wonder what's gonna happen with her as a Scarlet Witch, because after like WandaVision happened, kind of been left in the dark, which I guess we might see in this, and also in Spidey and Multiverse of Madness when that comes out. Like I guess that's gonna be the next time. I don't know.
So,
anyways, what did you think of the Venom Tom Hardy split? Venom Eddie split, the symbiote, that part of the movie.
I think it was comical, but at the same time I felt like it did a lot of actually good explaining as to seeing like the plot points later on about them being able to actually be symbiotic and like work well together.
True. I don't know, it felt like not cliche, but for lack of a better term, kind of cliche, like, oh, the heroes from last time are now arguing and they split up, and then they have to make up and get together and then save the day, just like those beats felt a little Like, but honestly, like, I think it was done in an okay way. I thought it was funny, like Venom throwing the TV out, and then like the whole chickens, like they were like divorced parents kind of thing. I thought that was funny. Oh, I like then also that led to Venom going to that like party and like kind of feeling included.
That's what I was gonna
with,
say.
like,
Yeah, where he's like finally felt he's like,
Yeah.
these are my people.
Yeah, that was funny. I think you said something about when the girl, like his love interest, like became Venom again, like the curves
Oh
were
yeah,
kind
they
of like
Lola Bunnied
nerfed.
her.
Yeah, so what do you mean by that?
You know what I mean by that.
But for the audience, I know what you mean.
They made her less like, womanly. So like they toned down like, curvature features, which they used for like sex appeal in the first one. It's just, it's fine, I guess, but you're like overly sexualizing a giant black slime lady.
Yeah.
I feel like it was much more like well done this time. As well also for the case of them showing like
That could be also
the connection between Eddie and Venom.
Yeah, but I feel like that could also be more of a showing her and Venom, like the symbiote kind of working better together, more synergy. Because I feel like in the first one, when he took over her body, he was probably more in control and like she didn't really know what was happening. So he could kind of by his own image, like make her all sexualized and whatever. And maybe in this one, she's like, they're
She's
more
like, no,
like,
I'm taking the wheel. Like,
yeah, they're more not even that, but they're more like acquaintances, and like he respects her more, so he's not gonna. He realizes that's disrespectful to her, so he's not gonna go as crazy with that. Maybe
that's good. That's a good way to put it.
I don't know.
Character development.
Yeah, let's talk about Cletus Cassidy and Woody Harrelson's portrayal.
He did a very good job. It was
liked
amazing.
his wig change because that first one was not it in the post credits of Venom 1.
But no, like his total portrayal of Carnage in Cletus was on point.
Yeah.
The one thing that, like, I guess it needed to happen in this case, but like the connection between him and Carnage, it's so much more powerful in the comics. So
like
much more.
They weren't as.
They're
the
so much more synergetic.
Because they're like chaos. I think they needed that. Like I think his girlfriend, like the Banshee lady, whatever, was brought in to cause that divide. Otherwise, I don't know how they would have defeated him. Honestly.
And Banshee, if I'm not mistaken, is
that her name, Banshee?
Either Banshee or Screech. I think it was Screech.
Oh, okay.
She's another symbiote in the comics.
It's Shriek, yeah. I thought she did a good job.
They did a very good job portraying her. Yeah, no, it was great.
Her eye kind of freaked me out. Like when she got shot and like survived. Yeah.
Yeah. Which then that leads into Mulligan. So
to Toxin, right?
Yeah. So do you know who Toxin is?
A bit now that I've like learned, but can you explain for our viewers, please?
So Toxin is the next generation of symbiote after Carnage, but in this case, he's even more powerful than Carnage. So the Carnage or Venom combined.
He's the cop that shot Shriek in the beginning and has the hearing aid. He becomes Toxin, who's a good guy, you said, right?
Yes. So here's the thing. So Venom and Carnage both have different abilities. They are both symbiotes, but that's something else I love that they portrayed in this. So like if you were a comic lover like me and you like already know backgrounds of the characters, like the different abilities that the symbiotes are able to have. So Carnage, like he's able to actually interface with technology, which we were able to see in the film. You're able to see how he's able to change his density and also like projectile portions of himself.
Yeah.
So say you want to like shoot out blades, knives, saw bits, whatever, stuff like that. Carnage can do that. Venom can't.
Could I just really quickly say, I really like just how the idea, I think Venom came around in the 90s, like some person just came up with the idea, and I think like Marvel
pitched
or someone.
to Marvel?
Yeah, Marvel was like, this is really cool. And now just to see how much like creativity and how many stories and branch offs that character has kind of spawned, like the whole idea of symbiotes, I think that's really cool. But anyway, sorry.
It's just cool to see the train of how like things can butterfly like that. I agree.
But you were saying the symbiotes different powers. Yeah,
so Toxin can do a mix of both. So I forget what his other abilities are. But the thing is, where Carnage, I mean, obviously it's Carnage. It's like homicidal, psychopathic. The relationship that Mulligan will have with Toxin, is much more righteous, and it's almost like he's trying to do right, where like the other symbiotes before have done wrong. So that's his perspective. I'm pretty sure the symbiote also changes from Mulligan to other people as well, but don't quote me on that.
I think this guy has learned that if he's loud, he can be on the podcast. Because he keeps being loud outside the door, and I know the mic's going to pick it up. Don't push my mic.
Did he just nudge it?
Yeah. Sorry about that. Again, back to the tank. So yeah, they have different abilities, which also brings me to a point about the final fight. Sorry, there's cat hair all over my mic now. So the final fight, I kind of thought, I don't know. I think I talked to you about this, but I didn't really know like how much damage Venom could take, because like at the very beginning, he's getting like stabbed and shot, like you said, those projectile like daggers from Carnage being shot into him, and he's like fine. And then at the end, he's like on the roof, and then he's getting stabbed a bunch of times with Carnage's whatever, and then like he's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. And I was like, what changed? Like, why can he not like no longer
get stabbed?
Like, take this. Like, I just think the first one, in my opinion, the final act, like the final battle, I felt like there were more stakes in it in my mind. Like, I really thought like Venom might die in that one for some, like, I don't know, like with the explosion of like the rocket. I thought, because we were led to believe almost that Venom, the symbiote, did die. So I think there were just more stakes in the first finale than this one in my mind.
There were more stakes, but at the same time, from my side, I'm not sure if it's all about stakes. Like,
yeah, but I think also the emotional connection, I think, to this one was good.
Yeah. Like, I feel like the dynamic between Venom and Eddie is what carried it this time. Like, just seeing them grow as, like, a actual, like, symbiotic relationship.
That's also the thing, though. I feel like that was the story we had last time. Like, the first one was about them, like, kind of, they weren't working together well, and then in the end, they come together and defeat the evil. And I felt like this was kind of the same thing. Like, oh, they're, again, not really working together well, and they break apart, but now they're coming together at the end, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it definitely did follow the same beats in those cases, but I feel like it was better done in this case.
Okay. I'm not trying to trash this film. Like, I did enjoy it. I don't know.
But I do agree in the final fight where the stakes didn't feel as high. I mean, again, you're not dealing with like planetary war on top of that too. So like,
true. I'm not even talking about the stakes of planetary war. I'm talking about just could our protagonist die? Yeah. That's what I was kind of like. Oh, like he could really lose here. Like And this one, I think I was more confused. I think it was just because of, like, I didn't know how much he could take, like, how much he could withstand. And, like, I
feel like it was just more endurance-wise, because, like, he already went through, like, getting stabbed a bunch of times and then getting the sound waves and all that. Like, yeah. Gotta keep in mind, like, Venom is also not as powerful as Carnage. So, like, he's been taking the same amount of damage, if not more, but then also, like, getting his ass beat for a good bit of it. Whereas Carnage was kind of just like being a powerhouse until what was it? Shriek at the end there did her thing,
right?
And that at the same time, a lot of the symbology here kind of remind me of Web of Shadows. Have you played that game?
Yeah, I love that game. It's a Spider-Man game where, which one is Web of Shadows again? The one where they That's the one where Venom like takes over all of New York with a symbiote virus. Oh, right.
And starts spreading to all these different.
I remember that one. I really like Shattered Dimensions. That's the one I was thinking of. Which might have some connections with like multiverse stuff that's happening.
Honestly, yeah. Technically, we did see in the Gameverse first. In the first film, yeah, it was kind of the same dynamic where it was like, oh, they're not getting along, and then they, figure it out. But like, that was like the introduction. Like, Eddie's never been through that kind of relationship before, where he's like literally dealing with something that's living inside of him.
Same, honestly.
Yeah, so I feel like there's gonna be ups and downs of that relationship, and like, I feel like it's developed it in a way that was realistic in that sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Right? I know it. I totally like didn't relate, but I understood like you need your own personal time, and to have someone just constantly with you and in your ear the whole time, that's got to be really tough and annoying. And I can imagine that you'd go through kind of like cycles of like, oh my gosh, I need to get away from this person kind of thing. So maybe they can work something out that like they'll have weekends off or something, and he'll just go party with those people with the glow sticks and stuff.
I know in the comics there's also times where like, I mean, this happened to Peter, but like, originally happened when the suit was taking over Peter while he was sleeping.
Oh,
taking him for joyrides. Yeah.
Oh, I think I remember that. Yeah.
And then he became the bombastic Bagman.
Well, we saw that in Spider-Man 3 as well. He kind of like wakes up just on a building the first time he has the suit on, and he's like, "What?" Anything? What else do you want to talk about for this?
I'm just interested to see where things go with the Toxin character now, especially now if he's still in his main universe, and then like Venom's now in MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Like how things are going to go there.
Yeah. What do you think? So how do you think it's going to play out with Spidey in Spider-Man 3? Like, do you think they'll like? I feel like honestly, if Spider-Man just talks to Venom and Eddie, he can explain like, "Hey, I'm not a bad guy."
I feel like they're going to fight, but then during that fight, Spidey's gonna talk to him and like
They
explain
might
to him
change
the stuff.
sides. But also
Yeah.
maybe like Spider-Man's probably gonna be extremely overwhelmed after all this multiverse stuff. He might not be able to just do that with everything he's doing. So he might just, I don't know. You know what I mean?
No, I feel like that's what's going to have to happen because I feel like Venom's going to overpower him.
Yeah.
Like even with all of his like that's just
Or
gonna happen.
potentially Venom, the symbiote's gonna sense the power in this guy and switch over to him, leaving Eddie
If we
alone.
got like a black suit,
We kind of saw a black suit with the magic suit. Maybe that's like CG fake for the trailer and is actually the black suit. You never know.
I don't know because they've already done like toys and stuff like that with that suit, so I don't think that
Maybe
that's
it's
gonna
fake
be the case.
toys.
Here, valued fans. Let's just make a whole toy line about something that doesn't exist.
That'd be like vintage, like collector's stuff,
Yeah, that's true. Limited edition stuff.
Hello, it's Future Jake here. Sorry to interrupt, but just want to let you know that we just posted a challenge video on my YouTube channel, not the Whatever We Want podcast. It'll be linked below, but the concept is Marvel related, so I wanted to bring it up here. I know we talk a lot in this show about show, don't tell, so I'm not going to tell you about the video. I'm going to show you a little preview now. Each of you has $30 and 30 minutes to buy some things in this Walmart to build something related to Marvel. Your time starts now. Go!
Oh, okay.
After we're done here, we're actually going back to my house, and the guys will have 30 minutes to bring their creations and ideas to life. What they don't know is that whoever has the worst creation at the end of the 30 minutes will have to wear this tutu to Red Robin tonight at dinner out in public. So make sure to stick around to the end to see who has to do that. All right, let's check in, see how they're doing. All right, if you enjoyed that little preview and want to see the whole video, again, it'll be linked down below in the description. Everything would really mean the world to me. Sorry to say my mic. If you would check that out. Yeah, Daniel's in it. I'm in it. Some of our other friends, Evan and Tyler, have both been on the podcast, are in it. So yeah, thank you. All right, back to your regularly scheduled programming. Anything else you want to talk about with Venom? I didn't really have too many thoughts. I enjoyed it, and yeah.
Nah, that's pretty much it.
Ready for the patron shout-outs?
Yeah, hit me with them.
QW Stars Music, Boosh, we got patron Lori, Frank, Rick, Lisa, Evan, Tony. Thank you so much for pledging the tier. So the shout out if you want to support us over on Patreon. Links are down in the description. Get episodes early, special perks, cool benefits, all that jazz, and more. Thank you. Also, if you want to leave a review or leave a comment on our YouTube videos, we'll shout them out here. We don't have any new ones, which is totally fine. Daniel, what should they leave a review or comment about?
What did you guys? If you guys want to go see Venom, what did you guys think? I want to know.
What was your favorite part?
What was your favorite part? And what do
Favorite
you think is
joke?
going to happen with Toxin?
What's going to happen with the chickens? That's what I want to know.
Honestly, yeah. What do you think is going to happen with the chickens?
Will
Let's actually
Toxin
push
eat
into that.
them? Okay. Anyways, yeah. All
Also,
right.
something that just hit me. We didn't have to do dialogue duty this time.
I know. It's sad. Bazinga ka-chow. Woo. That's because it's not an animated thing. Tom Hardy voiced Tom Hardy in voiced Eddie Brock in Venom. Yeah. All right, ready for the introduction?
Yes, tell me when.
When?
We just talked about whatever we want to talk about, and now we're done.
Thank you so much for listening. Really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you for listening to this episode. I know it's a little bit shorter. Yeah, we're kind of getting back to the groove of movies. We've been doing TV show breakdowns for a while. And, I feel like naked because I can't rewatch the movie over and over and just take meticulous notes. Saw it however long ago, and now I'm just memory save me, and I'm not used to that. All right.
Be like Venom. I have great memory.
Oh yeah, that was cool. I like that effect a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.